What is a full service lease? You probably think you know, and there may be some things you're going to learn from this video, so stick around. This is Commercial Real Estate Explained. We often talk about buying commercial real estate versus leasing, but we're going to put some leasing tips in here too, because I know there are a lot of business owners out there that aren't quite ready to buy their commercial real estate, but still want to get some tips on leasing. So when you go to look for office space, versus warehouse space versus retail space, the leases are going to be structured in different ways. So in this video, we're going to talk about what a full service lease is. Depends on your market, but oftentimes a full service lease tends to be more of an office building. They do full service leases because the spaces aren't separately metered for utilities the way that retail or industrial space is. So basically, the building owner pays utilities for the entire building, and it's going to be really hard for them to determine how much each space in like a 3-story office building uses utility-wise. So I think that's the main reason behind a full-service lease. Also, some office users just like to have that full-service rent, not really having to be worried about triple nets, and have a better feel for building expenses being included. So full service rent essentially is, your base rent, what your landlord is making on you, plus the building expenses. So that is property taxes, that's utilities, that's building insurance, that's landscaping. All of those things are baked into your full service rent. So if you have retail space or industrial space, you're probably used to hearing rents, plus triple nets. So in that case, what you're being quoted is, let's say, $1 per square foot, but you have an additional 30 cents per square foot in triple nets. Full service basically incorporates those triple nets. So, so in this case, it would basically be, $1.30 full service instead of $1 plus 30 cents of triple nets. It really is the same thing. It's just how it's presented. Some people think, like a full service lease, means I don't have to pay for as much. We'll get into that on another video, but the reality is you're still paying for it if your landlord is professional and passing through operating expense increase pass-throughs. We can talk about that in another video. But what you need to know is on a full service lease, everything that's about the building is going to be included. Your utilities, the building insurance, the property taxes, all that is baked into your base rent. But here are some things that aren't included that you want to make sure you understand. Firstly is your internet and telecom. Very frequently people will say, full service, so that means that they pay for my internet too, right? Usually not. With that internet telecom, it also comes cabling. Oftentimes, tenants will expect that the landlord is going to take care of their cabling to make sure that the internet functions. Landlords really try to avoid taking ownership or responsibility for any of your internet or telecom needs, because if they're in charge of the internet and the internet goes down, you're going to be a very unhappy tenant. So instead, landlords stay away from that, and they basically say, yeah, we're going to make sure that the lights turn on when you turn them on. We're going to make sure that the HVAC works, but everything related to internet is going to be on you. Another thing that's usually not included is any kind of furniture or furnishings. So, sometimes people hear full service, they're like, full service, like it's going to have the desks, it's going to have the internet. That is not usually the case. So when you're signing a full service lease, make sure you know what your internet setup is going to be. Make sure they look at the cabling to see if that has to be replaced. That can be a significant expense. You're usually going to bring your own furniture. Sometimes there's some left in the space, but really it kind of depends. But full service does not usually include your furniture. The last item that you need to understand, and we can talk about this in the next video, is operating expense increase pass-throughs. Very frequently, tenants will say, this is my full service rent. This is all I ever have to pay. This is all I ever have to worry about. And that can be the case sometimes, but it isn't always. So if you want to learn more about operating expense increase pass-throughs and how they work in full service leases, make sure you check out our next video. So once again, that's the basics of a full service lease. Most of the building expenses are baked into your rent, but there are some things you have to pay for yourself, and make sure you understand your operating expense increase pass-throughs. So hopefully this video helps clear a few things up. If you have any questions, feel free to reach out. Thank you for tuning in. This is Commercial Real Estate Explained. We're putting out one video a week. Please hit subscribe if you got some value out of the video. Have a great rest of the week.